Hey everybody, it's Jason from the Texas Gun Vault 2, and I'm out here in the garage for another quick garage gun talk. I literally just got back from the range shooting two really cool guns, and I want to share with you my initial thoughts and impressions, and these are the guns that I will be making range reports on this week. I don't know when these videos will drop, probably in a couple months, but I wanted to share with you guys my initial thoughts and impressions because these are really cool. One of them I had some major problems with, and one of them was kind of a disappointment. And it doesn't mean I can't create good content with it. It's just sometimes I think the myths of certain guns are bigger than the actual guns themselves and the quality of the guns themselves. Let's talk about the rare one here. This is going to be the Mateba Unica 6 auto revolving carbine. So the Mateba company made auto-loading, I guess I shouldn't say auto-loading, auto-revolvers, I guess is the actual term. So essentially, it's a mix between a semi-automatic pistol and a revolver. The upper receiver of the revolver essentially reciprocates on a slide, which cocks the hammer and rotates the cylinder. So when you fire it, the recoil will actually move the upper receiver, and as you can see, it rotates the cylinder and would cock the hammer. And I reviewed the handgun version of the 357 Magnum already. I don't know if that video is up on the main channel, but this is the carbine version. So the Unica 6 is a unicorn gun, and this is a unicorn variant of that unicorn gun. Super rare, very collectible, and I liked the handgun version of it, so I thought I was going to love this one, and I did not. I did have some major issues, as I said, but we'll talk about those issues as the last part. I want to talk about the shooting of this gun because I really only shot about 24 rounds through this thing before I quit the range report. The first thing I had issue with was the gas. So because this is a revolver, we do have a cylinder gap, and when this thing reciprocates and when you fire it, you feel the gas on your arms and on your face. I knew that going into it when I shot the handgun version. But it's not very assuring when you're firing this gun and you feel the gas coming out of that gap and it hits you on your forearm. It's very gassy and it's very, very, very loud. Normally, a 357 carbine would be pretty quiet, because it has a 16-inch barrel. And this thing seems to be louder than the handgun version, and I don't know why. So the gas in my face, the gas on my forearm, and it's a lot of gas, and it's hot gas as well. Like you feel it. At first, I was like, wait, is there something wrong? And I realized it's just that cylinder gap. So I think having a revolver in a carbine form is kind of, I don't say silly to begin with. I understand why it's cool, and I understand in the Wild West, the Old West, they had a few of those. But I think like a traditional rifle with an enclosed chamber is the better way to go. Then the sights. This gun shoots incredibly low, and I had to adjust this all the way, and it was still super duper low. So the sights on this were just way off for me. But now let's talk about the major issue. When I first shot this, I know that it holds 6 rounds in the cylinder. So I shot 5 rounds, and on the 6th one, because I was counting, it went click. Okay. Maybe it's a light primer strike. Maybe it is a hard primer. Maybe it's a dead cartridge. Okay. All right. So empty the cylinder. Put 6 more rounds in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All work fine. 6th round. Click. Again. And so I pull the cartridges and I look at them, and the ones that went off had very strong primer strikes. The 6th one didn't show any strike at all on both cylinders that I shot through it. Okay, so maybe there's something going on. I thought, who knows? Maybe it just might be the luck of the draw. Okay, maybe it is the ammo, maybe. So then I tried it again, and this time it was like the 3rd shot went click, and the 6th shot went click. And neither of them had primer strikes. So what I'm thinking is something internally on this gun is not in spec or is wrong. These are very complex guns, and obviously I don't want to shoot it and torture test it or anything. But I don't think the firing pin is right in this, in that it doesn't always hit the cartridge, or the gun is out of time, but I don't think it's out of time. I don't know. I don't think so. So there's something wrong with this. So after 24 rounds, essentially 4 cylinders of this, I guess that's, no, I said 12, yeah, 12, yeah, 24 rounds, I called it. I said, I'm not going to risk damaging it or shooting it anymore. I'm just going to review the gun for the positives and negatives and just talk about my quick experiences with it. And then just say something in this gun is not working right. And then just kind of move on from that, because I need to get it back to its owner so he can decide what he wants to do. Now, as I said, from the 24 rounds I shot, I was disappointed in the shootability of this gun. It's loud and gassy, and your forearm gets essentially just coated in gunshot residue and hot gas. So, not a fan of that. Cool gun, though. I know it's super rare, and collectors of Mateba firearms would pay a lot of money for this. But then there's that major issue. But I just document these guns as I am able to shoot them. So that was my experience. I got it all on camera. And I got to figure out how to formulate the range report on this one. So let me go ahead and drop the hammer here. And that is the Mateba Auto Revolver Carbine Grifone, essentially. There's 6 Unica. All right, so the next one that I reviewed is this guy right here. And it looks like a Star Wars Stormtrooper rifle. And it is the Sig 550 in Arctic White. And this gun, I was very impressed with a couple of things about it. First off, this gun has virtually no recoil. Like, it's a pretty soft shooting gun. It's pretty sweet when it comes to that. I didn't have any issues with it. It seems to be relatively accurate. I think it's a cool design. Maybe the Arctic White color isn't for me, but it still is cool. I did notice that after shooting it for a while, that you'll notice that we do have a scuff mark right here on the side of the receiver, and this is from the extraction of the casings, and I guess this is going to be unavoidable. Like, regardless of what version of this gun you have, there's no real rubberized shell deflector or anything for it. So we get a big scuff mark here. So if you have a color that's kind of rare, you're probably going to have to figure out a way to touch that up if you're OCD. If it's black, it probably wouldn't be a problem, because you could simply just cold blue it or whatever and clean it up or paint it or whatever. Black would be the easiest on this, but I had that issue. Magazines are a little bit tough to get in here sometimes, because it's more of like the AK-47 Rock and Lock system, but it's fine if you're used to that system. The biggest other downside to this gun that I discovered was it's heavy. It's very front heavy. Now, this is the 16-inch barreled version, I believe. Yeah, I think it's 16 inches. And it's either 16 or 18. It might be 18 with that flash hider out there. But this thing is very, very front heavy. And I found when I'm shooting it, and if I don't have the bipod out, it actually kind of wears on you. Your non-shooting support hand gets tired after a while if you're, taking your time with 20 or 30 rounds. So it wasn't as fun to shoot because you get tired with it really, really, really quick. But it functioned fine. It seemed to be pretty accurate. Had some issues with the sights and trying to get this thing sighted in. But otherwise, it ran like a top. It seems to be a well-designed rifle, and I understand why Sig in Switzerland is the makers of this for the Swiss Army. I understand why. It's a great rifle. I'm sure in the right configuration, this thing would be pretty darn cool. But it's okay. It's okay. I really thought I would come away from this going, wow, I really want one of these, especially the kind of the longer rifle version. But I don't. I think maybe one of the shorter ones might be the better way to go, because the recoil on this is so sweet on this. But yeah, it ran fine, didn't get hot, no malfunctions. It's just a different gun than what maybe a lot of U.S. shooters are going to be used to, because it's not quite an AK and it's not quite an AR-15. It's its own thing. It's its own beast. But anyway, so that was my experiences. So what do you guys think about these two guns and my experiences with them? And have any of you guys ever shot either of these? And what do you think about my problems with them? So anyway, I'll be filming some content here this week with these. And my Patreon supporters will get to see these reviews hopefully relatively soon. In fact, I need to do some more Patreon releases. I got a number of videos that I've made that I got to release to them. But that's about it. So anyway, let me know what you guys think. And what's the word of the day? Word of the day. Because I had some issues with this. Let's say problems. Because I had some problems with both. Really, the SIG's a nice rifle. Okay, it's just probably for me having to get used to the manual of arms. The Mateba, it has problems. And it sucks because this is the second Mateba that I've shot of Jack's, who's linked it to the channel, that had problems. Because I know they're very, very complex, rare guns, and it just has some issues where I don't know why it won't always hit the primers on the cartridges. I don't know why. So that's something for a very specialized gunsmith to figure out. Obviously, it works sometimes and it doesn't work others. So is it a firing pin problem? Is it a firing pin spring problem? Is it a mechanical problem? I don't know. But I always want to treat the guns that come through the Texas Gun Vault with the most respect possible. So when I discover that I think there's something really wrong with the gun, I just say, okay, that's what happened, and I'll let the owner kind of figure that out. So there you go. That's my experiences today at the range. So let me know what you guys think, and I look forward to seeing if anybody has experienced these issues. So, as always, thanks for watching.